In this video, I explain something that will help many of us sane and new people in the M.U.G.E.N community. Not the NSFW enjoyers, trolls, and etc. But us normal and passionate M.U.G.E.N/M.U.G.E.N fans that deal with the negativities and toxicity that is within not only in the community via forums, but also within the discords and more. If you are new to this channel or M.U.G.E.N, I highly recommend watching this all the way through. Also, if you are wondering why I am using an AI voice, because in the past, I used my real voice. Please check out the video in the description on why I stopped using my real voice and is now using an AI one. That being said, let's begin with what inspired me to make this video first. So believe it or not, I've went through a lot this past week with a M.U.G.E.N forum, which I will not specify what it is. And sure, while we have clarified things, the experience has left a huge negative impression on me to the point why I understood why so many people have a hard time in our community. To the point where I recently just had one of my best friends named NAS leave the community due to things like this. The countless miscommunication, bad assumptions of people, inconsiderate users, and so much more is simply not worth losing your mental over. Luckily, that's why more than ever it is best to stay in your own circle within the community. And I will be giving you 5 reasons why in this video today. That being said, let's buckle up and start with reason 1. You're surrounded by people who understand and willing to communicate with you. While, in this community, there will be cases that if people have a problem with you, instead of simply talking things out, they will simply just assume in their eyes that you are bad and not having to talk things out and wait until things get really bad for them to now address these things. This happened to me not too long ago, where I was being assumed to be problematic because of people around me, and because simply I was in a public Discord that no longer exists aka Skyvesta, and so on and so forth. I had to clarify that just because I was in a Discord that is now infamous for problematic content, it doesn't mean that I condoned it nor supported it. I was simply there for the files, and for the amazing authors there that share their WIP contents and more. But because of this experience, it truly opened my eyes on how no one is willing to communicate nor resolve issues unless things get truly dire, which is unfortunate. No community should be operating in this way, nor should we have this mindset. M.U.G.E.N is no longer a niche thing and we should do better, but people simply refuse. Therefore, it is just simply better to have your own group of people. Even in this case, your own forum, for things are very much upside down now. Reason 2. You are around people who know you for who you are rather than not only what you do. Is another reason why it is better to have your own circle/clique. You're around people that know you for you and will not be judged for you're around people that you know. I am not discouraging people to use M.U.G.E.N forums, but when it comes to making friends and pointing out problems, M.U.G.E.N forums are no longer the place to do that. For nowadays, anyone can get suspended or banned for anything and everything nowadays. There are forums that hate when you speak up on issues, hate when you point out problems, or even hate when you do one thing slightly wrong by mistake, or really. The worst part are ran by people who rather confront you on your mistakes have already made up their mind about you. This can discourage people from making friends and learning more about M.U.G.E.N, especially since the popularity of juice and cheapies is what is bringing in new people. This may sound discouraging to be in M.U.G.E.N forums, but unfortunately that is how they operate. You're better off uploading and downloading in forums rather than engaging. For me, I simply stick to doing that or encouraging and leaving positive feedback for users. But nowadays, I plan to do less of that and just upload and download, and am willing to listen to feedback only. I used to start discussions on forums, but since have stopped. Reason 3. Creative control without noise. When you stay within your own circle, your ideas aren't filtered, challenged, or watered down by people who don't share your vision. In larger M.U.G.E.N spaces, it's common to have others dictate what's acceptable or meta, which can limit how far your creativity goes. In your own environment, you can shape characters, rosters, and projects exactly the way you want without compromise. You don't have to answer to critics who misunderstand your work or try to force you into trends that don't reflect your style. Having complete creative control allows your projects to breathe and develop naturally. You can experiment with advanced mechanics, unique cheapy behavior, or large-scale rosters without worrying about backlash or approval. The end result is work that reflects you, not a collective expectation. In your own circle, your creative direction isn't debated, it's executed. Reason 4, less drama, more progress. The bigger the community, the bigger the drama. Public M.U.G.E.N spaces are often filled with unnecessary arguments, tier debates, ego battles, and personal issues that have nothing to do with development. Getting caught up in that can drain your time, your energy, and your focus. When you build within your own circle, you effectively shut out that noise and keep your attention where it matters on the actual work. Progress happens faster in calm, structured environments. Without having to constantly defend your creative choices or manage community drama, you can focus fully on refining your characters, improving your code, or perfecting your lore. Your momentum isn't slowed down by people who don't contribute, because your circle is built to move forward, not to argue. Simply put, fewer distractions equal more finished projects and cleaner execution. Reason 5, working in your own circle gives you the power to choose your team wisely. Instead of throwing your projects into the public where anyone can get involved or interfere, you can hand-select trusted people who share your values and understand your standards. This builds real trust, something that's hard to maintain in massive open communities. When trust is the foundation, collaboration becomes smoother. Testers know how to handle sensitive builds, coders work in sync with your style, and everyone communicates with a shared purpose. This prevents leaks, creative disputes, and misunderstandings that often happen in larger public spaces. A small team with strong trust can accomplish more than a large crowd of random contributors. It's about quality of collaboration, not quantity of people. Last but not least, reason 5, a loyal, aligned community. If you are a Mugen YouTuber, you should already know the benefits, but if not, you realize how amazing this truly can feel. You don't have to be a Mugen YouTuber, of course, but still. Instead of being surrounded by people who are just there for hype, drama, or clout, your space attracts those who truly value what you create. These are the individuals who respect your boundaries, support your growth, and align with your creative vision. They don't pressure you to change your style, they celebrate it. Over time, that loyalty becomes your strongest foundation. Even a small, tight-knit community can create more meaningful engagement than a massive, chaotic one. Your circle becomes a place where real discussion happens, feedback is thoughtful, and people grow with you, not against you. A loyal base is more powerful than a loud crowd because it's built on mutual respect and shared passion. That being said, running your own circle isn't about shutting out the world, it's about creating a stable foundation for your work. Big communities have their uses for visibility and networking, but they aren't always the best place to build. In your own circle, you control the pace, set the tone, and protect your vision from unnecessary interference. If you want consistency, security, and creative freedom in the M.U.G.E.N community, your own circle isn't just a good idea. It's a power move. That being said, thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, concerns, or feedback, you're free to comment. If you want to continue the discussion via my Discord, that is okay as well, for we welcome you with open arms and allow all of my subscribers to feel comfortable and flourish there, for I understand how it feels to have a hard time navigating and having a hard time in Mugen. Therefore, I understand and am willing to help you.